The thing is, though, you'll notice there are lots of stone walls here. All of it I've built them myself. But I generally say down here is a stone factory. There's a lot of rocks in this Alveston Old Town area. Every time I turn the soil, I get more rocks. I've sold many with all of our properties here and over in the Baker Hill, different places. We've taken rocks there, and my sister's bed and breakfast. I've sold some from a commercial basis to other individuals, and there's still more rocks every time that comes. But it's about taking the lemons and making lemonade. And that's where you see all these retaining walls are made from the rocks that have been here. And this is where you utilize the rocks and the walls to make different terraces. So instead of gently sloping land, you have areas of flat land, and it builds a uniqueness. So you have the themed areas bordered in some instances with the walls, and even over here you see there's a pile of smaller rocks. This is where I plan at a later phase to use some of these in gabion baskets to protect the riverside. Yes. And so it's about harnessing all the material, utilizing it in various ways. Initially, I had dry walls. My architect who did our house, etc., he always told me, please don't build any dry walls, because when you get heavy rain, they come down. But you know, I was going the cheap way and started stacking the stones. And during Hurricane Maria, all of this section, all the way down, was washed out. So I had to actually go back and utilize concrete reinforcement. And I had, during the passage of other storms, same sections of water came off the road again, but concrete filled ones standing still. So it's all those types of things. One of the huge rocks, you can see the size of the rocks that were here.
And it's supporting your water tubs.
Yeah, because what I did in here, I piled the huge rocks, and there's ash inside. So I'm building it as a platform, and then on top of that, because on top of this, with a board section over here, because part of this is going to be the orchid house, but it's going to have wooden slats above, so you can come from the health and wellness area and overlook this section. And my son says he wants to do his treehouse since his childhood dreams. He still wants to do his treehouse there. So I said,
how old is he now?
He's 21.
As long as you tell him he has to build it.
Yeah, I said that's your thing that I'm leaving for you, you know. So even along here, I mean, this is some lemongrass, but it looks battered because the heavy equipment that was doing some work over there had to actually trail over it. And that's another aspect that is critical in terms of planning, the implementation, because as I said, there's certain themed areas, and I need heavy equipment in some instances to cut the holes for the ponds, in terms of the foundations for like septic and sewage systems. As I said, over here we're going to have the cistern, but heavy equipment is going to have to come and dig through here. So I can't put any of the permanent trees, even though I have the plans for putting certain trees here. I can't do it until these other preparatory works are being done. So even those are some of the things you may see some of the areas looking, you know, really unkept, but it's because I have the plan of equipment coming through here. Sometimes it looks a little chaotic, but there's a plan.
You have a plan?
Yes, and you can see down here is a large hole which I got the excavator to thing for the aquaponic pond, which would be just the raise up about 2 feet down here, and so it'd be filled. 2 rectangular ponds would be extending towards the focal point of that tree. So those pile of rocks came from here. As I said, stone factory. So I got all those rocks from out of this spot, which I'm going to be using to build some retaining walls. If you notice over there, some of the bigger ones, we've already used the heavy equipment to put them in place.
I was going to say, surely you're not lifting those.
Oh, no.
Some of those look a bit big for lifting too.
Lots of those rocks are well over 500 pounds.
Yeah.
So I guess these rocks are probably pyroclastic flows.
When you look at the cut sections, you can see the different layers. So it would be just like back in the original days when you had the flows coming down to these areas where you have the large quantities of rocks. Because it's actually, the rocks were actually in layers.
Yes.
So you get past, we got past that, back to another like a layer of fill material. So you know, all those things is so interesting. So even with the sewage systems, you know, you have to go down past these layers, and when you get to this more sandy material, you know, well, locally we refer to it as when you reach soak. That's where the material will, the liquid will filter down through that area and reach to that area. Because if you don't, above the rock layer, it would not go all the way down and soak and filter through the subsoils. So these are little interesting things that you learn all the way along.